Hey guys, thank you very much for clicking through this video. I really, really do appreciate it. And I want to apologize because this is a pre-roll for one of my own videos, and I know that's strange, but there's a reason. First of all, again, I want to say thank you for clicking through. Secondly, I want to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe if you want. At the very least, comment below. Now, what I'm asking for you to comment below is something you'd like to see me do. Maybe it's, you know, I'm asking specifically for constructive criticism. Maybe that's, I need you to do this better. I think you should do this better in your videos, or I think you could be improved by doing this differently while streaming, that kind of thing. I really would like to hear it because I'm trying to become a better streamer, content creator, etc. And I think your feedback is valuable to that. And I'm taking this opportunity to really ask you that. And I'm also taking this opportunity to just kind of pimp my Twitch channel a little bit too. Because you're watching this and you're watching what is a pre-recorded video that I did live on Twitch. So technically the term is a VOD. But seriously, if you want to watch me live, you can go to twitch.tv/mksmith2gaming. If you don't want to watch me live, that's fine. Obviously, you can watch it here. It's no big deal. But I'd like to encourage you to watch me live on Twitch. I would love to interact with you live. If you leave a comment below and you're like, man, I wish he could respond right now, you can go to Twitch. I'm there. I stream mostly in the evenings. The whole having a full-time job, a part-time job, and having my son 50% of the time, about 50% of the time, it takes up a lot of my available time, so I really only have time to stream during the evenings. However, again, if you have an evening free and you want to hang out, chat, maybe offer some criticism, whatever the heck you want to do, you can go to twitch.tv/mksmith2gaming, and you can watch me live there. If you don't want to, you don't want to. Again, thank you so much for clicking through this video. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you want, you can comment, you can like and subscribe if you want to. If you don't, you don't. It's all good. But thank you again for watching this. I hope you have a great day. And now, on to the video. But now you can. Howdy doody, my peeps. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a good Friday. I'm having a pretty good Friday. I pretty much spent my entire day driving. So that was fun. That was fun. But I got home and suddenly I just got hit by exhaustion. But I didn't get home till late anyway. But enough of my yapping. Let's just hop straight into Transistor, shall we? Alrighty then. Shadwinkus. Cool. I was actually kind of worried. Oh, I got lots of things updated. Breach. This is okay. Yeah. Okay. Passive slot for Jaunt. What does it do in a passive slot? Recover more quickly after using turn. Okay. Oh, yes. Fully complete. Wow, so we learn a lot. So, okay. Interesting. Ooh, excuse me. So let's just read this. I'm actually kind of curious. Considered the most elusive entertainer in Cloudbank by 12% of the population, Mr. Shomar Schosberg earned his reputation through numerous absurd public pranks and other daring or ill-advised feats. Thus, he earned the nickname The Magician from his many thousands of fans and enjoyed executing highly unusual, unscheduled performances in Cloudbank's most bustling neighborhoods. His acts grew more ambitious over time, culminating in his promise to skydrop into a restricted region of Goldwalk and walk right out, escaping administrative detection. Skydrop. After constructing his personal glider, Mr. Schosberg sailed forth one evening from a high-rise rooftop to the delight of thousands of onlookers at ground level. Onlookers lost visibility of him as he flew into the dense fog hanging over Goldwalk. Though their cheering continued for more than 40 minutes, Mr. Schosberg, meanwhile, completed his skydrop very much as planned. What he did not expect was that several individuals were waiting there for him when he touched down. Disappearance. The Camerata saw in Mr. Schosberg someone who commanded a significant influence over a young and vibrant sector of the city's population. Mr. Schosberg, for his part, initially mistook the Camerata for an administrative group and was shocked and disappointed to have been located so easily. His famous escape attempts likewise proved unsuccessful in this particular scenario. Nevertheless, more than 80% of individuals who self-identify as fans of Mr. Schosberg's work believe that his disappearance was all part of the stunt. Fascinating. So, I can uninstall that, right? Sweet. Okay. I got it installed into a passive slot. What do you do in a passive slot? Generate volatile packets instantly at a regular interval. Interesting. I gotta put her in a passive slot. Gain a deflecting shield that negates damage to the user. That's actually potentially really useful. So yeah, obviously we're just gonna... Ooh, all right. Completed file. So I'm just gonna read this too, because I'm officially hardcore into the lore of this game, and I want to learn stuff. So some of the playthroughs at this point could be mildly boring, but I kind of don't care because this is how I am as a person. So too bad, so sad, but I hope you do enjoy it. Background of Henter Holliford. How many cases must one crack to become the most highly decorated detective in the 18th Precinct? Even this, Officer Henter Holliford knew ahead of time, although he never acted prideful about it. Of course, Officer Holliford was no more detective, he was a forecaster. This was one of the rarest and least understood professions in Cloudbank. Though the results spoke for themselves, Officer Holliford possessed an almost uncanny ability to solve any mystery that blew into town. So it was that he became very interested in the reasons why Central Administration quietly decided to take down the northwestern edge of the Goldwalk district until further notice. Investigation. Officially speaking, Officer Holliford could only do so much until the administration proved sufficient clearance for his own safety. But one of the side effects of Officer Holliford's talents as a forecaster was his insatiable desire to confirm his hypotheses. So, he decided to move forward with his investigation, sensing significant trouble and not wanting to sit idly by rather than do his job. What he discovered in Goldwalk shook Officer Holliford to his core. He had never seen anything like it, and his hands shook as he prepared his report on the spot. But he ceased transcription when several individuals approached him. He did not expect them either. Disappearance. The Camerata knew Officer Holliford posed a significant threat, as he was one of the only detectives stubborn or determined enough to refuse to accept the administration's non-committal answers about what was going on in Goldwalk. After considering several ideas that might draw the officer out, the Camerata realized that they needed only to be patient with him. After all, a forecaster could only predict what was already planned. After Officer Holliford vanished, the 18th Precinct fabricated a palatable explanation for the public. The officer was approaching retirement age, and together they agreed to name a quarter of his home district in his honor. So, Officer Holliford's basically Sherlock Holmes, and the Camerata, who clearly still are the primary antagonists. They kind of screwed up, so they still are the primary antagonists, but that might change to them being like a secondary antagonist. But I kind of doubt that. So they just wanted to get rid of him. So from what I can tell then, this game, the people who disappear, they become processes. So they're literally just turning their physical representation into a digital representation. So that's fascinating and cool. Um, however, okay, so I want to figure out, so crash, what does that do in a passive? Gain damage resistance, no, and immunity, no. Gain more planning potential in turn, 120%. Wait, so are they saying that my guess is you get 20% more, which is still a decent amount. Because I highly doubt they're going to double. Double and then some the planning phase. Planning in turn. That would just be way OP. Spawn a copy when attacked, diverting nearby targets. Cover more quickly. That has potential. I'm more likely to use this, honestly. Add a chain reactive effect to most functions. Gosh. But I'm going to actually turn that into a passive spot. And actually, I'm just going to uninstall that. Uninstall that. Uninstall that. You just need passive, 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 passive. Fully done, passive. Needs to be active and passive. So what's its active? Call a friend to aid the user. That's been nice. But that's currently overloaded, so that's unfortunate. Passive. Fully done. Upgrade or passive. Upgrade. Okay. So this needs nothing. I'm going to install that into B. These are all passive, if I remember right, so that does me no good. You need to be passive, does me no good. You need to be passive, which you are. You need to be upgrade and passive. Jaunt needs to be passive, but I'm not going to do that anytime soon. We're going to install that to X for now. Then Breach needs to be passive. I can't do anything with that at the moment. Load needs to be passive. So I have 2 upgrades in this. So if I were to add this with ping, let's see what it would do. Spark would become more efficient to plan during turn and faster in real time. Okay. So let's go ahead and install that to there. For now. Accelerate most functions, raising their range and velocity. So if I were to install it to Jaunt, Breach will fire instantly and become usable during turn plus recovery. I'm betting actually I have to go like this. Jaunt will damage any targets along the user's trajectory. Oh my. I'm going to install you there. I don't remember if there's any that need. Okay, so this needs to be put into a upgrade slot. That's fully. I'm just gonna go ahead and install this to A for right now. Better do this and mask will temporarily turn surrounding targets allegiance to the users when activated. Interesting. So this plus mask deal greater backstab damage. Install that there for right now. And I can upgrade. I'll upgrade that there. And then install this with mask. Mask will create a damaging blast around the user when activated. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, cool. And that gets us set here for now. Now, where do I go again?
Straight ahead.
Thank you. Right, there's no map. I want there to be a map. I really, 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 really want there to be a map.
Some kind of break room up there.
Yeah, which means I'm supposed to go that way. Maybe. Maybe, baby. Maybe, baby. Baby, maybe. Is this where it came from? This is where it came from. Good to know. Gosh, that is a nice upgrade. Well, I really gotta check the text. Meh. Okay. Okay, so that was where I went. So break room there. OC terminal there that I did last time. I couldn't remember doing it last time, but I did it last time clearly because it's blank. Access point. Actually, if I access this, hey, that's available. It needs to be active or passive. This was create a friend. We'll worry about that later. Okay, let's check this out. Come closer, press A.
Guess if you're gonna spend hours poring over files or running half across town, eventually you're gonna need a break. Go ahead, it's open. Pretend I'm not here.
What? What?
Just hurry back. Good? Good.
What? Okay, that was strange. That kind of broke
We're on
things
the
up a
top
bit.
level. Oldest archives.
execute.
Photo op. They're trying to get in your head.
We'll do that.
We're off.
Let's switch back over here. Okay. Okay, let's try this out. Switch. Switch.
Over and over.
Okay. Okay. Switched. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Jump over back to this cheerleader here and switch it. Jump back here. And bam. That. You are mean. I am mean.
What do they do with those snapshots?
That's a good question. Ooh, level 8, baby.
We're getting there.
Coal. Oh, dear. Interesting. So I get a new function. Purge. Spawn a seeking parasite that dismantles a target from within. Apply corruption effect to most functions. Strike new ray targets upward with tremendous force. Raise kinetic impact or effect of durations. Most functions. Harm. I think I much prefer Purge. I think I want another passive slot. I got a lot of stuff that could use passive slots. I'm not going to install. I don't install limiters.
Let's see what we can find up here.
There's no use. Okay, so we do have new files available. Hey, we got another decryption process done. Bounce Neola Chen. Neola. One would have background. Hold on. Before I start this, I better take a sip of my beverage. Love the brisk. Love that brisk. Brisk is delicious. Okay. Neola Chen. Background. One would have difficulty finding a more active or outspoken member of the community of Cloudbank's Goldwalk district as Miss Neola Chen. She allotted more than 66% of her available time on activities such as passing ordinances to improve underdeveloped regions, reaching out to and educating habitual non-voters, or advocating for groups lacking adequate representation. Her motives were rarely questioned, as her love for the district was in fact sincere, stemming from positive early experiences that grew to become fierce nostalgia. Miss Chen did have her detractors, however, and this became very clear at the opening she arranged for the Goldwalk channel. The channel was to be a gallery space of sorts designed to showcase eclectic works from those pursuing non-standard vocations that traditionally held little share. Instead, Miss Chen found herself accused of stirring unrest by calling attention to meritless perspectives undeserving of notice. The group accosting her was angry for 17 different reasons in total, including how the channel edged out a competing vote for a metro station that would have bridged the gap from Goldwalk to neighboring high-rise in one short ride. Miss Chen publicly lost her composure in this particular incident, which would have escalated further if not for several individuals who stood in her defense. They later offered their support with any such matters in the future. She agreed to meet with them, not realizing who they were. Disappearance. The Camerata saw in Miss Chen an invaluable moral compass of sorts, someone predominantly driven by philanthropic goals and seeking no personal gain from her actions. This type of perspective they felt was an important counterbalance in comparison to some of the other individuals they had in mind, whose work was no less significant to the city, but whose intentions were not as plain to see. After her disappearance, those who knew Miss Chen reluctantly came to believe that the channel incident shook her resolve enough to where she decided to go away for a while to reignite her passions. Interesting. Okay. So, I need more memory. What do you do? I can install you, though. That's good. Tally automatically when struck. Yes, there is a new passive slot available. No. Can uninstall that. It's actually kind of useful, though. I'm gonna uninstall, though. No, uninstall. So now I got 2 memory stats available. Can I just install it? What does it do? Upgrade. Oh, heck yeah. Installed that. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Oh, wait, I thought all of the files updated. Oops. So, Switch needs... Interesting. We're gonna remove it and install it to a passive slot for Meow. We're gonna actually install it to this right now. And okay. Cool. What? I still have... What am I missing here? Oh. 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 Interesting. Oh my. Huh. So... In other words, I have to use these to get more lore. Son of a biscuit. Well,
Found
moving
something.
forward now.
Bulls. Damn, Red.
Take it. Okay. That. You can't find me. You were mean. Yes, I am mean. I don't take kindly to being attacked.
That's that.
Cool.
Should be some kind of override.
Should be some kind of override, huh?
The town's past. It's all on the books. Getting wiped out.
Function files updated too. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so here we go. Farah Yondale. Background. She was Cloudbank's first ever sky painter, someone who took the everyday occasion of the ever-changing sky and made an art of it. She worked for the pleasure of thousands who remembered they once took the sky for granted. Miss Yondale gained a significant following as she transformed the skies around the city, and as her skill and popularity grew side by side, she started taking requests. One such request came from her heart. She was drawn to the district of Goldwalk, where her suitor lived, and there she would change the horizon to shimmering sapphire for the solstice, and for their and everyone's sake. This was when her art became a liability. Solstice. Administrative restrictions over the northwestern part of Goldwalk conflicted with the breadth of sky that needed painting. Because of her physiological state, however, Ms. Yondale disregarded the restrictions and painted away. The result was stunning, as the majority of onlookers failed to find words to describe it. But because Ms. Yondale wantonly ignored a front-page directive from administration, she was banned from sky painting for a term 2.5 times longer than she found acceptable. She pensioned for reprieve and came in contact with an administrator who suggested there were ways the term could be lightened. She was eager to learn how. Ms. Yondale's gifted command over dimension of the city's physical and natural beauty caused the Camerata to seek her out. While aspects of the city evolved at a constant rate, the particular way in which Ms. Yondale approached her craft, with a strong, discerning, intuitive sense, but with an eye for the wishes of her followers, created a particular disposition that appealed to the Camerata. After she vanished, close to 70% of Ms. Yondale's connections decided she must have fled the district to escape sentencing, and that somewhere out there the skies still sparkle with the patterns of her choosing. Amazing. So she's basically just a artist. Huh. That was in a passive slot. If I remember to move that. What needs to be put passively? This. What does it do? We'll install it passively for now. That's done. Do I have anything that needs to be an active slot? Yes. That fills up my memory completely. But that's okay. That is okay by me.
Knew it.
Over
Should be another one just like this, other side of the tower.
Huh.
Let's get back to the concourse.
Curious to see what happens now. Okay.
All right, let's check across the hall. Still shut tight.
Yep.
First set of locks are down low.
Back door. Maintenance.
The other override ought to be in here.
Okay. Here we go.
Maintenance. Count of 3. 3. Guess you should be flattered.
Private message from Kendall Asher.
It was nothing personal, you know. You were valuable, handpicked, unique, but one of many. All we needed was your point of view, to give the people what they didn't know they wanted. That's all we ever wanted. All Grant ever tried to achieve. The rest was merely incidental. What good could 4 individuals ever hope to accomplish in this city with only their own 4 voices? Well, we found our answer. You have it right there, in your hands.
The ringleader's right upstairs.
Interesting. So they wanted transistor. But for what?
Other side.
Wink. Function files updated? 1?
Max Darcy gave up Fashion Week to get caught up in all this.
So he can be uninstalled. What was his? Retaliate automatically when struck. Yeah. Remove. Don't suppose I got something else that needs. Passive, what do you do? Spawn a copy when attacked. Remove, install passively, please. Then actually going to okay. We'll do it like that.
Having fun.
Oh heck
These
yeah.
guys. More cropping up whenever you hit them. Here, girl.
Spawns of the weed. Yeah, I get that. Just gonna move around a bit. let my dog handle it. Good
Clear
boy. Useful. Very, very useful. Wow, got 3 function files updated. Oh yeah, there we go. Red. Oh yes. Background. Ranked in the top percentile of Cloudbank's contemporary performing artists for 5 years, Red demonstrated early interest in music despite studying at Traverson Hall. Traverson groomed many of the city's most ambitious civic planners, though Red spent the majority of her time developing the Academy's nascent arts program, and was the first on record to select 2 non-traditional disciplines. Records indicate she was reluctant to explain, citing personal reasons. She remained reticent even after gaining the spotlight, and when asked about her past and influences, would often say her work spoke for itself. She did admit, however, that she never wrote her music with intent to stir controversy. Career. To appreciate the impact of Red's music, consider first the current state of Cloudbank's social climate and how it evolved for the past 2 decades. When an altercation finally erupted in the crowd during one of her performances, it was the first such incident in 4 years. It escalated to the point where administrators were summoned to the scene as one of the suspects was banned from the premises. He accused Red of being an instigator and provocateur. Red later stated it was in this moment that she fully understood the potent effect her music had on people. She decided to take certain precautions from that point, receding from the spotlight to compose new material in relative privacy. Rumors swirled. Then, once she finally reemerged, trouble followed. What time is it? Yikes, I need to be wrapping up soon-ish. So, let you guys know, we got about 10 minutes left. Disappearance. The Camerata found her one night once the crowds dispersed after one of her performances. They had reason to believe that she would be alone, rehearsing said new material. But she was not alone, and the presence of another individual disrupted aspects of the Camerata's plan for the night. Red survived the incident, becoming separated from the Camerata due to these unforeseen events on their part. Although her trace data remains intact, partial transfer did occur, including transfer of ownership status of something the Camerata believed theirs. Okay, so... Sorry, I had to stretch. So... What? So, the Camerata thought they owned Transistor. Or they did own, and when they tried to integrate her into it, it transferred ownership status to her because she survived, which is also makes sense since we're playing as Red. Red is our character, but there is a function with her, aka Crash. So she's like half in the sword. So she's like half in the system and half not. It seems from what I'm gathering, her voice is gone, like her hum, but you can still hum on stage. That's so strange. I don't understand, but all I really am picking up, the most I understand is that part of her is in their system, but enough of her remains because she has ownership, but enough of her remains, and in the process it gave her ownership status of Transistor. Interesting. So I would like to uninstall that. Yeah. want to install it into this, I think. Passive. What does this do? Passive. Gain more turning potential. So let's install that in a passive slot. Alright, we've got the full thing for Lillian Platt. Lillian Platt. Background. One of the preeminent scientific minds in Cloudbank, Miss Lillian Platt was the youngest ever individual to be elected as chairwoman of the OVC board. Under her leadership, the number of OVC terminals in Cloudbank more than doubled, and the quality of the broadcast strengthened more than fourfold. However, she then became the youngest ever individual to leave the post, as she tendered a resignation in less than 2 years to pursue extracurricular interests. In private conversations, several of her former colleagues indicated that Miss Platt left following the sudden disappearance of a close personal friend, Mr. Maximilius Darcy, who, according to official OVC transcripts, decided one day to move to the country. Actions taken. Personal records show Miss Platt was preoccupied with certain rumors and urban legends concerning an unusual phenomenon cited in the northwestern corner of the city, and possible connections between this and the rash of disappearances during the past 12 months. For undisclosed reasons, she did not wish to involve the authorities. Her access to privileged OVC information may have contributed to her decision. Other records show she engaged in clandestine discussions with individuals claiming to have knowledge of the circumstances surrounding her friend's disappearance. She arranged to meet with them one night at an unmarked port near Goldwalk Bay. That was a bad idea. Disappearance. Miss Platt never learned the truth about her vanished friend, although in a brief moment she did learn the truth about the unusual phenomenon. To the Camerata, Miss Platt was more of a meddler than an opportunity, one of a scarce few who held some knowledge of their movements. When the time came, they made sure that they were nowhere near her last known location. According to OVC, Ms. Platt has been missing for more than 2 weeks and the trail has gone cold. Incidents of foul play have occurred less than once a year on average for the last 10 years, but authorities have not yet ruled it out in this case. So, I think her friends is one of the other functions. So she was a journalist. I mean, really, at the end of the day, she was a journalist. She was basically an investigative journalist. She ran OVC. OVC basically being the citywide communications stuff. So that's how you get your news. That's how you vote. It's like everything the people used in Cloudbank. So she had learned stuff about OVC while... I mean, okay, so she wasn't a journalist. She's a preeminent scientific mind. So selections, physics, and negotiation. So she was really smart, and she ran OVC. The number of OVC's term doubled, so... Okay. So basically, I mean, she was a scientist who kind of had some journalistic stuff. Like, she just figured things out about the OVC. She resigned so she could figure out what the crap was going on, what was going on with people disappearing, because, you know, she's smart, she's scientific, she figured she could figure it out. Then she got taken by the Camerata. The Camerata wanted to make her disappear because she knew that they could get into the OVC. Maybe the OVC is part of it. I'm pretty sure the OVC is part of it. Okay, that's good to know. Install into this. Put that there. Okay, so we learned this needs to be installed into a passive slot. So if I remove it, I install it to a passive slot here, I get a 3 for... So anything that needs to be active. Yes, actually. Active seeking parasite that dismantles a target from within. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, well, let's see what happens, right?
Gotta be something we can use in here. Not what I had in mind. Clucker's packing something new.
Oh, this is Super User.
My goodness.
Hold on. Pause. Just a second. What? Super User's fucking badass. Oh my god. If you're in range of anything when you become a Super User, that is amazing. You just go boop, dead. Oh my god, that blew my mind. I need to be ramping up, but I must play more. Okay, we're literally gonna play through this encounter, and we're gonna go to hit to the next access point, and at that point, we'll see if I've unlocked any more background, and that will probably be it. But holy crap, Super User. That's amazing, and I love it. Hey, Roger, going back. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.
One more down at the end.
Like, that's insane. Okay, there we go. It's like, there's no way in hell.
So long.
Oh, that would have been badass.
right then. Where to?
Jeez, Lapeets. That is savage. I love it.
Would I like to see maintenance teams bouncing around instead of the process?
You and me both. So the process is like what they're naming this, like the Camerata's like. I don't understand the point of flourish. Okay, so we just gotta go this way. Okay. Function files updated 3. So you guys are aware, we're going to back out of this, and then that's going to be it for tonight. But until then, we need to see what else we've got in functions. Okay, so this, from what I can tell, is the dude that's inside Transistor that knew Red or liked Red or had a crush on Red. I'm very curious to see what exactly the dealio is here, because I want to know. And I don't think we're going to find much. Okay. Background. Subject not found. Background. Subject background data corrupted during integration. Reason unknown. Exceptions. Recovered data indicates subject had no selections on record. There's a remote possibility, less than 5%, that this information is inaccurate due to data corruption. In the more likely event that the information is valid, subject by definition cannot be matched with census data, as 0% of CloudBank willingly chose non-selection. Disappearance. Timestamp on subject's integration coincides with timestamp of previous authenticated user relinquishing access and control. Although subject's trace data was corrupted to an integration, nonetheless such data has its uses and consequently derived a suitable function. Subject's trace data remains disjointed and cannot be recovered. So this is breach, right? Breach is... This is the thing that we got from the dude that's in Transistor. Which... I'm assuming the sword is Transistor. I'm pretty sure it is. They may have even explained it earlier and I missed it. I don't know. But here's what I'm getting at. This dude was the person... No. I mucked that up. I don't know what I did. I installed it from something. Inspect. So this was the dude. She was not alone, the president, another individual. So this was the dude that was there with Red, that like interrupted things, that changed things, that made that made the unforeseen events. So he was the one that fully became a process that is now in Transistor, and he can speak through it. My guess, using Red's speaking voice. Because she can hum, but we haven't seen her actually speak anything. So my guess is that her actual language is gone, and she can just go, because she does still have some level of intelligence or something that allows her to do that. So breach comes from that. So this is the guy that's in the Transistor. And he was not planned on, right? So make sure you hit the right button. He had no selections record. So this guy was an absolute no one to the Camerata. An absolute no one. They didn't care about him. They didn't know he existed. And they didn't know him because he didn't... So let's read this again. In the more likely event that the information is valid, subject by definition cannot be matched with census data, as 0% of CloudBank willingly chose non-selection. So this guy was remaining a no one on purpose. He didn't want to be like known. So there's the potential this guy knew the Camerata, knew what they were up to, and they just didn't know about him. Oh, so fascinating. Where were you installed? I don't know where it was installed. I think I had it installed in... Probably had it installed in John. I don't know. Alright. Sybil Rise. Known in elite social circles... Sybil Rise. Background. Known in elite social circles throughout Cloudbank, Ms. Sybil Rise organized many of the city's popular public events, from groundbreaking ceremonies to contemporary festivals. She was everywhere, and yet somehow she made time to lead a second hidden life. As one of the Camerata, Miss Rise was responsible for gathering information about potential high-value targets, people who could contribute to their cause. She did this job to perfection, drawing no notice, though one target in particular caused her much frustration. So from that, she was part of the Camerata, and she very much... So she was like super high up. She's like, the 0.5%. She's the 0.5%, let's say. But not only that, she's part of the Camerata, which, as we can tell, is basically the bad guys. One target in particular caused her much frustration, which I'm guessing is me. Meeting Red. Ms. Rise met Red while putting together a small program for up-and-coming artists and became infatuated first with Red's music and then with her. According to diary entries, there was something inscrutable and confident about Red that Ms. Rise could not explain. However, Ms. Rise was frustrated to find that Red grew distant. Through all this, Ms. Rise observed the aloofness of one of Red's companions and decided he must have been insinuating Red against her. Ms. Rise thought through various ways to rectify this. So, Ms. Rise, she wanted Red all up on that. Okay. So she really, really liked Red. Aloofness of one of Red's companions, and thought that he must have been insinuating Red against her. So she thought one of Red's companions was like basically trying to make her turn against her, basically be like, you don't want to be all on that. And she was like, no, you want to be all on that. Recommendations. One night, Ms. Rise nominated Red as a target for her Camerata colleagues, citing Red's surging popularity in the city and her unusual set of selections. Red could substantially advance the Camerata's... Red could substantially advance the Camerata's agenda, and was not yet so ubiquitous that her sudden disappearance couldn't be sufficiently disguised. Ms. Rise promised the Camerata she could get to Red at a time when she would be completely alone. Trace data reveals an 85% chance she falsified this claim. So, Ms. Rise wanted Red all to herself, to be all on her. But when that couldn't happen, she wanted her to be part of the process, because her selections would be useful as a process. So selections are part of their like census taking. So it's mostly their personality, but it's also their interests. because she's really good at because help. So Ms. Rise selected supervision and organization. Don't ask me why I had troubles with supervision. I think I was reading it as two separate words, and I was like, that's a hell of a superpower. Anyway, so it's okay. So she was organized, and she... Okay, so yeah, it deals with... You choose these things. You choose these things that you're good at, that you do, and that's what they know you as. That's what that's kind of how they know what you do. And then they take your selections and turn you into a process, turn you into a function for the process. And if I remember right, we get this one when we get back to like the stage. When we got back to the stage where they tried to take Red. The trade has an 8% five chance he falsified this claim. So Ms. Rise may have known that she wouldn't have been alone, but she figured that one of Red's companions. So my guess, putting together some puzzle pieces here before we go. Let's double check. Okay, so Purge is going to be the one that I'm very curious to see about. So, Sybil, again, wanted Red all up on her, but one of Red's companions, she thought was turning Red against her. My guess, and maybe they've implied this and I've missed it, my guess is that this right here, subject not found, is Red's companion. Thus, because that would make sense, right? Because they say that trace data reveals an 85% chance she falsified this claim, which means that by their data, by what they figured, she knew that Red's companion was going to be there, but she said that they were going to be alone. The Camerata took her at the fact that she took her at her word, saying, okay, she's going to be alone, we can take her. Ms. Rise knew that her companion would be there, but didn't say anything because she just wanted to get Red. Which means, if my guess is right, that the subject not found, aka breach, security breach, get it? That's clever. Breach is Red's companion. So they knew each other. And he liked Red. He probably wasn't trying to turn her against, Sybil, is that her name? Sybil? He probably wasn't trying to turn her against Red. Red just may have liked him more than she liked Sybil, because maybe Red just liked the D. We don't know. So that is some amazing lore. I'm learning. I'm glad I'm doing this because I'm learning a lot more about the characters and how it's all working together. So that will be it for this. However, I don't want to leave you just yet because I want to try to kind of wrap up what we're seeing here. So we're going to switch over to the face. I'm not sure how I feel about that, actually. Back to Transistor. So this is what I'm thinking is going on. The Camerata is, again, at least at this point, our primary antagonist. They were taking up people who had made good selections that would be useful to their process. What that process is, I think we still have yet to figure it out. But they made those selections based on people who would be useful to their process, but were not so famous, so visible that suddenly their disappearance would not like spark everyone go, what the fuck? You know? So the Camerata were taking these people, disappearing them, turning them, transferring them into functions for the process. Then the Camerata tried to do this with Red, Red's friend, Red's companion. So backing up, the Camerata tried to do this because of Sybil saying I can get her alone. She's not so well known yet, so no one will notice her being gone. Yada yada yada, right? So they go to get Red. It fails. What they were using to absorb people, I'm guessing, was Transistor. That backfires. Now Transistor's owned to her. But the process, so all these bad guys are now in this weird state where they're not owned by the Camerata anymore, but they're not owned by Red/Transistor. And they are taking over because they're effectively free because of permission errors, is my guess. I can't wait to learn more. This is an amazing game. This I'm going to switch over to All Face. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a marker right here. Transistor. This game is fantastic. I think I've gushed about it in every video, except for maybe this one, because I've been so locked into I need to know more about this game, right? This game is top notch. The art is amazing. It's worth a play just for the art itself, right? The lore is incredibly deep, which I shouldn't be surprised. Bastion, again, made by the same people or developer that made Bastion, right? Bastion was an incredibly deep game, had lots of lore into it, but it was a pretty... I am slowly replaying Bastion on my own, but it was pretty linear lore-wise, if I recall. It pretty much explained everything to you, if I recall. I could be wrong. That would be my cat. He wants to be fed. He will get fed after this. So, Bastion was great. It gave you the lore straight up. There was no... If I remember right, again, it was pretty... Told you all the lore pretty simply. I think there was a few things here and there, but you knew the lore for the most part. This game, you could in theory play this game without delving deep into the lore and still have a fantastic time. And that's a testament to how good this game is. And to its credit and to my discredit, I was very not sold on the tactical part of the combat system. But once you learn it, the tactical elements are fantastic. In fact, I almost prefer to use turn in combat now even more since I've got the potential of super user. But this game is so good. I'm looking forward to finishing this on stream because it's blowing my mind every time I play it. It's hooking me deeper and deeper every more I play it. Supergiant Games, if you ever happen to see this, this is what I want from you guys. I want something in the same vein as Transistor. Maybe you can even set the same universe. I don't know. I don't care. I trust you guys. I haven't played Pyre, but Bastion and this Transistor are two of my all-time favorite RPGs. For real. Okay? My all-time favorite RPGs. All I'm asking is that you give me... All I'm asking, and I mean this, all I'm asking is that you give me an open world. Like a completely open world. If you you know, give me a completely open world with the same level of world building that you're doing in this. Like, let me take on billions and billions of side quests so I can learn more about this world, about this universe. Whether that's in the same universe as this or a different universe, I don't care. All I want from you guys is an open world RPG. Do this hand drawn art style. Do whatever the crap you want. If you can replicate a little bit of the magic of Bastion and Transistor and put it into an open world RPG, mwah, mwah, game over. I will play the shit out of it. I will probably log hundreds of hours into it because that is how good you guys are at making this game. Yeah, it's so good. And I cannot praise Supergiant Games enough. The soundtrack in this game is just as fantastic as Bastion was. And though I have heard pretty moderate things on Pyre, because of how good this game is and how good Bastion is, I will play Pyre. I don't know if it will be on stream. I don't know. I don't care. But you guys have earned more money for me because I will play through Pyre because you guys are due that. And whether it's meh or not, I don't care. And I know it's a couple or plus years old at this point, so you guys probably don't care. But because of how good this game is right here, how good Transistor is, I will play through Pyre. Because this might be surpassing Bastion in my mind. It literally might be surpassing Bastion. Because holy crap, the lore is deep and heavy in this game. And it's amazing. I'm completely sucked in. And if things go well tomorrow and I get some decent recording done, we might be getting a bonus stream tomorrow of more Transistor. So, yeah. On that note, that's going to be it for me tonight. Played through a butt ton of Transistor. This game is so good. I just spoke at length about how much I love it. I'm shocked. I'm not that shocked. I'm floored, and I love it. I absolutely adore this game. So again, we might get a bonus stream tomorrow of more Transistor because I need to know more, and I need to play more. Yeah. So, but I won't promise that. I honestly won't. Because, again, weekends are now I don't do jack shit in terms of streaming unless it's a bonus stream. So, I'm just trying to... My weekends are my chance to try to recharge and relax and have fun. Plus, I also got to be at work at 5 a.m. tomorrow. So, that's another reason why I might not stream. Because I might get home and I might just end up napping for the rest of the day. I don't know. But on that note, guys... Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for watching. I think I've actually had like a viewer tonight. So it's a shame you didn't chat with me, but I didn't ask you to. So that's kind of my fault. This game got me completely hooked. Yeah. So next week will be on Monday and Wednesday and Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Probably Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably Friday. So looking at about 4 more streams next week. I think if things go well tomorrow, I'll probably have an announcement on Monday. I'll likely have an announcement on Monday. But we will see. Again, that's going to see how tomorrow goes. So, it's not a bad announcement. So, I'm just letting you guys know, giving you guys prior heads up on Monday. If things go well this weekend, I'll kind of have an announcement on Monday for you guys. So, yeah. On that note, I'm going to shut the hell up and go to bed. So, guys, thank you so very much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you're watching on Twitch, follow, all that kind of shit. I love you guys. I appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, guys. I really would love it. I really would appreciate it. And maybe coming up with some ideas to incentivize. I don't know for certain. I'm kind of like trying to decide if that's really a healthy way to do this. But on that note, again, I'm gonna shut the hell up again and say goodnight to you guys. So have a wonderful weekend, guys. If I don't see you again till Monday, I do hope you guys have a great weekend. Treat your mothers right on Sunday. It is Mother's Day weekend, so treat your mothers right. Tell them you love them, just like I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Stay happy, stay healthy, have a good one. Goodbye.